It's been 7 months since the blizzard of 2022, of course, in December, and tonight we're still learning more about the storm response. The Rochester Democrat and Chronicle and the USA Today network here in New York published a report digging into what went wrong before, during, and after the blizzard. The article called out a lack of coordination and urgency between local, state, and federal agencies, also detailing system-wide issues with the emergency response network and concluding that not enough resources, especially, were given to the city, leaving many people without help. Joining us live right now is reporter David Robinson with the USA Today network here in New York. You see his reporting oftentimes in the Democrat and Chronicle. Sir, thanks for taking some time for us here. And I want to start big picture. What are the highlights from the reporting here and zeroing in, if you can, on what seem to be big problems in terms of communication between Erie County and the city of Buffalo and the significance of that?
Sure. So our investigation spanned months and really dug into the details that are still coming to light through thousands of pages of documents and public records requests. And the big picture findings that we've come to this far really look into that lack of coordination when it comes to the communications between the city of Buffalo and Erie County, as revealed through email communications that we've uncovered, and also in looking into the dispatch data and how how emergency responders got to stranded motorists and how all the emergency response unfolded, and also in looking into the mutual aid from outside state and federal resources and trying to get to the bottom of all those hundreds of heavy duty vehicles that were deployed as detailed in press conferences leading up to the storm by the state and federal agencies and the National Guard and the state Department of Transportation and all the different agencies that came into that, and trying to get to the bottom of kind of the lack of mutual aid in that early crucial storm response as the storm hit on that Friday, 2 days before Christmas, and carried into that Saturday on Christmas Eve. And we looked into this through the lens of the story of Andell Taylor, the 22-year-old nursing home worker whose vehicle got stuck on the side of the road while she was trying to get home after her shift, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift, trying to get home to care for her ailing father during the storm. And she tragically died alone in her car while what she believed was awaiting a emergency response. And so some of those issues when it comes to communications breakdown, especially, are revealed through really the lack thereof of the communications between the county and the city in the lead up to the storm, especially during that crucial day before period when there was a lot of discussion about strategy and around closures of facilities and around how they're going to communicate during the storm. Emails revealed that City of Buffalo official accounts were not really looped in a lot of the regional communications. So that's all part of this story that we're still digging into and getting to the bottom of, and really also the state and federal response. A lot of the issues that were questioned from the county-run Emergency Operations Center, there was a lot of questions around the lack of National Guardsmen who were on the ground, and there's emails that we've revealed in communications from the White House to county executive polling cars related to the National Guard response, and him questioning why his number was 10 guardsmen had responded by that Sunday, and really just trying to get to the bottom of this as it still unfolds because of the scope of this natural disaster, and the scope of this emergency response is so large that we're still really understanding what happened.
Yeah, David, I've only got about 30 seconds left here. I should point out we got statements from the city and the county kind of saying, I mean, they learned a lot from this storm. There have been after action reports. They would say, you know, we're better prepared now for the next one. Does your reporting tend to agree with that?
It seems that they've addressed some of those systemic issues when it comes to communications. I think there's still a lot of unknowns around the mutual aid response, especially. There's questions around the deployment, pre-deployment when it comes to a natural disaster. You know, how these resources are positioned beforehand, what happens as the storm unfolds. There's a lot of questions around that, and unfortunately there's some unanswered questions on the details of the state response, especially, that we still haven't really truly understood to the full extent of the failures, because they're asserting that they did respond, but there were some questions around their GPS data, and they have delayed repeatedly release of that that tracked the vehicles that kind of shrouds their response in secrecy to some extent. So we're still going to keep digging and still trying to get the answers so that everybody's better prepared for the next time.
Absolutely. We'll continue to follow that. David Robinson, reporter with the USA Today Network. Thanks so much. We appreciate your time.